Bonjour, mes amis, enchanté ici. This is My Star with Asa. My name is Angel Tony Asa, Prince of the Sun, and we are at our amazing venue, Coffee City, that has the most amazing coffee brewed by the best in the land. But, ladies and gentlemen, going to the main focus of the day, we're having someone very exciting. We are having a script reviewer. He is a writer. He's a film facilitator. He's a film analyst. Oh my God, and above all, he is a film director. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, help me introduce none other than Dialo, also known as Ghost. You're most welcome, Dialo.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure very many people out there are like, wow, finally, we have a creme de la creme on the show.
Am I creme de la creme?
Definitely, definitely. Most people know you as a perfectionist. So
really?
When we have a perfectionist, then you know.
Yeah.
So tell me, why do people call you a perfectionist?
I think it's simple English. Being a perfectionist means you want the very best for everything you do. So I believe it's because everything I put my hands on, I want the very best out of it. So I don't compromise.
Okay.
I leave less room for error or mistakes. So
Okay.
that's why they call me perfectionist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dialo, why do you want to scare me right now? Why are you called Ghost? Wanange? Why you know also known as Ghost?
A ghost is just AKA. Some people call me ghost because usually when I'm doing something, I don't want my private or personal life to get out there, but I prefer to have the piece of work that I do go out there. I don't want to sell the image first. I want to sell the art first, then probably the name can come later. So in a bid to try to hide my personal identity, I try to venture into something which is like a ghost. Because you know ghosts will appear and you can hardly see them. Yeah, because part of the work I've been doing in my previous years, I was doing a corporate job where people were working with, they had no idea I'm a filmmaker.
Okay.
So in my corporate world, I was Dialo, the corporate guy.
Okay.
And then I would be a ghost.
You would be a ghost this
People
side.
who have watched The Power can relate to the ghost, yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes,
Power.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you balance the corporate world and film by that time? And are you still in the corporate world?
Partly, I'm in the corporate world. You know, because of nature, you can't run away from most of the things. But it was good to cope with because usually it's about the bread on the table.
Okay.
And film is passion. It's the hobby. It's something you love. But film is something that requires patience and time. So you might not bring the fruits very easily or early. So you need to find something that can really help you survive. So I ventured into the corporate world and probably it is something that I felt I can do. And on the other side, I can do filming as well. But my calling is always bringing me back to film. So yeah, I was in that corporate world.
Talking about the corporate world, before we delve into film totally, what were you doing in the corporate world?
Actually, it happened when I left the country and went to United Arab Emirates in Dubai, and I started working with Emirates Airlines.
Wow.
Yeah, so I joined the corporate world there.
Ooh.
Quite some time, yeah.
Ooh. What is the startup to work in that? Were you like this? Because I see in Emirates, you find ladies are the ones like. Were you a host? Were you a hostess? Or are there hosts? I've never seen a host.
I love this world. You know, people think when they hear Emirates Airline, they think it's all about hostess, but it's a company that actually, if you look at the female department, they are almost maybe a quarter of the entire gender balance, I could say, because the airline is such a big thing that requires manpower, physical manpower. So I was actually in the cargo department as an aircraft cargo planner. No, not really. I was aircraft cargo planner. What happens is that cargo is when people have a lot of stuff they want to bring to Uganda or anywhere in the world.
Yes.
You need to know how heavy, how much it is, what type it is, which aircraft is carrying it, and all those details. It involves a lot of mathematics and calculation and knowing probably the aircraft you're dealing with. So my role was to identify the cargo, know the size, know where it's going, and then plan accordingly which aircraft it has to go on and how big and everything about that, and making sure it's delivered on safely and yeah, so that was something.
Talking about it being delivered safely, isn't that a risky job? Didn't you find one time some cargo having marijuana, having drugs and all that?
You call me a perfectionist. Some of the reasons why I became so strict is about working this job. It doesn't compromise because so much is at risk, including the passengers on the flight as well as the cargo. So like you're saying, there's a lot that happens. People probably could carry marijuana in a dead body. They could carry marijuana in phones. Yeah. Something I even came across, I was really shocking. United Arab Emirates prohibits a lot of, should I say it, more probably things like sex tools, toys, yes. But some people want to smuggle them there. You don't know how they would carry them. It was unbelievable. Someone will pack fruits and they will put in something that.
Oh my God.
So it's a crazy thing. And your job entails you to be really, really keen on every detail, and that's where I don't compromise both on safety and security.
I'm sure it's a cutthroat industry that in case anything happens, you're fired.
Absolutely, right? First time, but it's very nice. It's really engaging. Yeah, everyone would be happy to work.
So you traveled all over the world, I'm sure.
I did travel.
You kept carrying cargo and took it on and you remained in the same
No, one of the beauties of working with an airline is the advantage you can travel anywhere in the world as long as the company you're working for has a route to that particular destination.
Okay.
You can travel anywhere almost for free. So I did travel, yeah.
Okay, cool. Now we know Dialo, the guy.
Yeah.
Now, let's go ahead. You've developed so much passion for film.
Yeah.
Where did this passion come from?
It's a funny story. It all started at campus. I was at Macquarie University Business School and life was really hard. I could not afford school fees and surviving. And I had a friend of mine who was working in one of the filming companies in Kampala here, Kampala Sena Hotel.
Okay.
They told me, if you need to get a few bucks, you can join me. You can. So I started as the camera assistant, cabling, lights. Back then we were just doing weddings and local dramas, if you know VNC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everything that started on Bukede TV back then. So I joined the company as a camera assistant. Started with cabling, with lighting. My passion actually didn't know I could be a filmmaker, but suddenly the first day I was handed a camera to say, okay, you try it out. I said, now this is what I'm looking for.
This is the end.
That is
no
how it
turning
started.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is when it started. Yeah.
Okay.
And from there,
since then,
the passion grew because back then filmmakers were very few. Okay, probably call them camera operators. So there was a lot of opportunity. I got a chance to be sent to Mbarara. There was no TV station by then. So we went a crew of only 3 guys and we had to start TV West.
wow.
So imagine being there, you have every equipment and it's you to do everything you want. So I was free like a bird.
Wow. Without any qualifications.
Yeah, because
How lucky.
How lucky. That's how
No
you
papers.
start. No papers, no nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly. Then after, I'm sure, like they said, the rest was history when you started from there.
Yeah.
Now, quickly, you went on to become a director. How writing, what came first? Did you first write, then you started directing, or you started directing and then developed interest for writing?
Yeah, I first actually directed in a way that when I went to Dubai, working with the Emirates, I decided to say I'm not going to rely so much in corporate world. I had to use part of my free time to venture into film. So in Dubai, I started contacting people that were doing film and local productions within the country. So there, I had people who were writing short films. So I took on the advantage of directing because I had a little bit of experience. Directors initially they come from a background of knowing quite the good cinematography. So if you're good cinematography, you can lean towards directing. So that's how it started. So I helped a few friends to direct short films. And what drove me to writing is when someone brings you a piece they think they have written and you feel it's not worth directing. So I'm like, why really? And in Dubai, I had to go back to school about film and I started learning about writing and also script writing. And so that's when, but first I went to directing, but after being disappointed with the scripts that I'm presented, I said, no, something is wrong. I need to make it better. Yeah. So I ventured into writing to make, I think, the entire package worth watching. Yeah.
Speaking about directing vis-a-vis writing, why in your own statement, you've said someone gives you a script, not worth directing. What if someone came with their money? And they have their money and the script then, and he says he wants that script. Would you refuse to direct it?
I would definitely refuse because
why would you?
I told you, I'm a perfectionist. You know, one thing
The
Ugandans...
guy has his money. He's from Nollywood,
But
Hollywood.
it's not about the money. Your name is going to be on that same project. What will people say? They'll not know how much money you are paid. They'll see the kind of crap that you put out there. I'm also telling directors here, don't look at the money. Because at the end of the day, for us who come at the theater to watch your film, we are not going to know how much was behind this. We're going to look at the art. So at the end of the day, if they say Dialo was behind this, they say, okay, look at this probably useless director. So it's about the name before the money.
Okay.
So if you look at the money, you will be, because you might end up doing the only project and that's the end of it. But if you do a good piece, even if for free, you have a zillion projects coming up your way. So it's always good to look at the script. And you know, people come with scripts and money, but look here, it's always you as a professional to try and advise them. Trust me, the right people will understand and they will follow you. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're advising someone out there.
Yeah.
Someone who is moving from downtown to uptown and is talented and has hit one mega project, not to look at the billions they'll be given.
Yeah, they will come. The billions
Are
will
you
come.
sure?
Yeah, you know, good art will give you the money. Good art will give you the money.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only one challenge we have as Ugandans, mostly writers. We are writing stories from our hearts, our experiences. But film has evolved the fact that it is art, but it later transpires into business. And as a writer, you should understand that yes, it is not written for you. It is written for people out there. So that kind of people you're going to write that script to should really be willing to accept what you've written.
Okay.
So you have to think more about the people who are going to watch your art than you, the person who is passionate about it.
What makes a script worth watching? Just the basics.
The basics. I think the first one and above all, it should be entertainment.
Okay.
Because no matter how sad your story is, no matter how good it is, it should be entertaining.
Okay.
Because we venture into watching films because sometimes it's either you're bored, you need something to light you up. It's always about entertainment. Someone spares their free time to be entertained.
Yeah.
So look at entertainment first. And then number two, it should have some bit of edutainment. That is, someone has to learn something from it. So you always know, if I've watched, I say, wow, I wish she did this. That's why you see people watching movies and say, why don't they do this? They're trying to get something of learning.
Yeah.
And then finally, that piece should be well told.
Okay.
What do I mean by well telling? Now that comes with the science of film. A bad looking image, bad audio, everything that is not well put together is a negative to film. Because I have spent my time to come and watch your film. I don't want to be bothered with poor audio, with poor picture. So it has to be clean and good to look at. So I think those basics, if it is entertaining, someone could learn from it and probably well told. And the world telling has so many aspects to it, then that is a good script to watch.
That's a good script.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, if there's a good script, what would make an actor a good actor worth watching?
Very challenging. It starts with the casting director. You know, when you write your script, and if you're a director, you need to look at that script and visualize the kind of people you want to feature in that. If you cast the wrong people for the wrong roles, then you've done disservice to the piece. So usually it starts with who you identify to be in that. So, but if you believe you've gotten at least someone who is worth casting for that role, the other thing is, I believe, giving them time. Ugandan film industry, I've seen actors reading scripts in taxis on borders because they were called early in the morning. You have a scene to come to.
In the evening.
You know, with acting, it's very funny. When you get a script and you look at your role, you start envisioning the life of the person you're going to represent in that act. So, you know, trying to live a life of a different person does not take 30 seconds.
No.
It takes time. You start imagining, even if it's not written in the script, you start imagining where they were born, how their life was, their parents and all that, so that you sink in and become that person. Unfortunately, if you don't give the character time to have all this embedded into their livelihood, it becomes very hard for them to portray exactly what you want them to do. So I think it will take time and guidance as well. As a director, it is always good to engage your character first by questioning them. For example, if you give a piece to a character, you ask them, who do you think this character is? What do you think they are like? You want to see if they really understood or they got a different version of the character that was written in the script. So time and understanding the character is very paramount. But unfortunately, because professionalism comes with time of acting, we can't say people are not professional. It takes time for someone to become professional. So we will give them chances and help them get there. But if you give them time, you have a chance they can evolve into the person you want them to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about time, there are different ways of directing, right?
Yeah.
There are those directors who don't have time.
Yeah.
And there are those who have time. There are those who give actors time to adapt, and there are those who shout at actors and intimidate. There are those who use a collaborative way of directing, and there are those who use kind of a vindictive and scary way of directing.
Yeah.
So, just quickly contrast on these two people. Do they all work?
You're trying to squeeze me into a hole.
No, I mean there are those who use intimidative. They shout and you see someone coming down and walking. And then there are those who sweet talk actors, smile with them. So just compare and contrast without saying this is wrong or the other is right.
I don't believe shouting at people is a way of directing. I don't think so.
But you believe
it has
it
never
exists?
been. It does exist.
Okay.
So it puts a question. It's about the nature and character of a director. And some people think that when you bossy people on set, they'll be kind of submissive or listen to what you have to say. I find it contradicting. It could actually hit your project so hard. Reason being, I could come and I believe you're the boss, so you shout at me and I say I need the money. So I'll go ahead and do what I would have, but I'm not I'm not in too deep the script. So one thing I believe, there is always disagreement on set, and you can disagree, but shouting at people is very disrespectful. So one thing you should have on a set is respect for each and every person, from the producer to the last person on your set, regardless of who they are. Because I've been on sets. In Dubai, one of the challenges, I was called on a set as a behind the scenes videographer. Behind the scenes, I had no role on set apart from BTS. And guess what? Because of the respect that was on set, they had an issue with the camera. They could not find the audio, and the picture was not good. After spending 2 hours, everyone is working on it. I just told the guy, can I give it a try? Because I had a background and I knew everything you're working on. And guess what? Within seconds, I put everything in order.
And it was amazing.
And guess what? This guy's like, how much experience do you have doing this stuff? I said, quite a lot. He said, can you do the camera work? I said, yes. I was made the second camera operator immediately.
Wow.
If there was that bossy environment, they probably not would have gotten what they wanted that time. Sometimes you're on set, but your gaffer has more knowledge than you, the director.
Yeah.
Being a good leader doesn't mean you need to know it all.
No.
It means you are good at managing talent. So if you bossy people, they might reserve what they know, and guess what? You walk on set and nothing is done.
Because that gaffer might be a director in another set.
Probably he's come on your set as a gaffer, but he's a director somewhere. So always listen and respect every person. So I don't believe in directing people while you're shouting at them. But every set should have principles, rules, and regulations. You put them there, agree before the set happens. That will help. For example, timekeeping. If someone comes late, don't shout at people. But before the set starts, just tell them, if you come 5 minutes late, it's either we are going to look at your finances, or we will have to let you leave the set and we'll have someone who can keep time. So you don't have to shout. It's only the rules or regulations that will punish that person. Shouting is very disrespectful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Ghost, we've spoken about directing, we've gone to writing, and we've gone to actor. Let's go to the diverse industry now.
Yeah.
Where is the film industry at the moment? Are we taking off? Are we taking off? Are we there? Are we behind? Where are we as the Ugandan industry?
Ugandan film industry. You know, the world is now an open space. You can't lag behind. You have to move either way. Whether you're crawling, whether you're walking, because you can't stay behind.
You have to go forward.
We have to go, because everyone is moving forward. I would say we are moving forward.
Okay.
But the question is, are we crawling? Are we walking? Are we running?
Where are we?
In my opinion, I think we are crawling.
We're crawling.
Yeah, and crawling is, there's so many factors that are really...
Are we crawling from the first, like you've just gotten out and you're crawling on your tummy, or we are crawling tending towards using the knees and trying to walk? Where are we?
Have you seen kids that crawl and crawl until they are 2 years and the parents start saying, but this kid should have been walking by now, but suddenly
yes.
the kid is still crawling.
You have taken a while there.
I think we have taken a while with the crawling, and there are many factors. And I think one of the factors is about the general administration of film, that I would say from the higher level. We don't have, for example, we don't have a commission. We don't have a unifying factor from a ministry that is holding. It's a big thing because that will be the center of everything. If you don't have that, that means you're going to have so many groups that are trying to do A, B, C, D.
Whatever they can.
Now that is a problem. So as long as you don't have a unifying factor or something that is put together, the direction is going to be hard. But it can be worked out.
But before we go to the unifying factor, are we creative enough as Ugandans? Because when you look at Nollywood, Nigeria, people look to be very creative. Everyone is having something happening. Are we creative enough?
We are extremely creative.
Then what is
we are
making
amazingly
us
creative. No, look here. The only difference is art alone cannot make you succeed. So the creativity alone is not enough. When I'm defining film for so many people, I tell them it's both a science and art. If you can work on your art, it's not enough. You need to work on the science. So now, if we are not good at the other side, we need to be at the same level both with art and science. So if we are not working, we don't have those other elements that help art to grow. That's why you heard that they're saying Ugandans are the most entrepreneurial country in Africa or stuff like that. Means we create. But what happens after that? Now that's when the science comes in. How are you going to nurture this piece that you've come up with? We are creative. But as creatives, after you've created your piece, what next? I know so many filmmakers in Uganda, after they create their piece, secure them a board meeting with a big company and tell them come and make a presentation. They can hardly do that. They'll even chicken out and say we can't go there. So we need to professionalize the industry. And the only way we can do that, I think, is by working with people outside film. For example, we have done our art and we are good at art, but that's not enough. So if you're good at art, you've created your movie, what next? You can't do the marketing yourself. Look for a marketing company that has probably been marketing a different brand, but of course they have the skill to do the marketing, and tell them, you know what, I have a product called a film. Can you help me do it? They might help you unlock the doors that you've not opened. But as a film industry, I see we work so much as a very small group. And funny part of it all, we don't even work as filmmakers. Music videos are filmmakers, but I don't know if we all know that. But look in this industry, the people who call themselves filmmakers are the people who make the typical feature films that we see in short films. Music videos are also doing their own. Music video directors are also a different group. And when you look at so many, we are different groups, and even now we even have the downtown, you told me, and also uptown. So how are we going to work like this? But guess what? I'll tell you one thing I've realized. Downtown filmmakers have the amazing screenplays. Their stories are very rich and amazing. And the execution is terrible. Uptown, amazing when it comes to execution. The stories, so imagine you had a story from downtown.
Done by...
Imagine that. We would have now one blockbuster that everybody would say. And guess what? You tap onto the market from downtown and the market from uptown.
And then
But this kind of bridge between the two people that is not even connected, I think it creates the reason why we are crawling up to this. And so many other factors. One of them actually I would love to highlight is, should I say, the education. Like you asked me the way I ventured into film. I started from someone telling me, here's a camera, go and do it. That's where most of our filmmakers are.
There are no academies.
There are no academies, there are no institutions. And even those institutions that are there, some are not well equipped. Some don't have the right facilitators. And the other problem, people who are already in the industry doing whatever they are doing, discourage young people from going, say, don't go there, you can come and do this. But education is also very important.
It's very important.
Ask me why I ventured into education, because when I realized people in the field are not that good, the best thing is look at the young generation and try to help them understand the art and science of film. So the education is also very important.
It's very paramount.
I would encourage filmmakers to, and I'm happy for what UCC is doing.
But now, while we close that point, I was going to close it, but how should this education be brought? Should it come in, because, in A level, you have literature, But is that enough? Should there be a course on filmmaking from primary going to O-level and A-level and campus?
Absolutely not. Film is I think a tertiary level kind of course, and it's very practical. I don't encourage filmmakers to go and start reading, but now we have two types of filmmakers. We have those who are already in the industry and are probably grown like me. They can't go back to high school or to university. Those are people we can help by creating the so-called master classes of this Ugandan film industry. So we can create some of those and help them understand now probably the science of filmmaking. And the problem is, will they come?
That's the highest question.
UCC is doing a wonderful job trying to lure many of them to come.
Is it for free with UCC?
Yeah. For people who registered, and I think most people are learning from it. And then the young people now, I would advise that instead of someone saying, I'm going to the university to do an arts course or science course, you can venture into film, go to a film school like Canberra Film School, you can go to Media Academy, any school, and you learn the art from there. The beauty with the film school, as well as you're trying to work, to study, the industry is open, you can be an intern. So you do both school and also you practice at the same time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, Netflix hit Uganda.
Netflix.
But since then, we've had only one movie. What has happened? People stopped submitting. We don't have film. We're not up to the standard. Why aren't we having? Yet Nigerians are having every day, and you open Netflix and it's Nigerians also.
I've even seen is it Aki and Popo or something? Recently, I think they've done redone Aki and Popo.
I also saw it
I was shocked.
I think yesterday.
I'm not an aggregator of Netflix and actually don't work for them, but this is my personal opinion. I would say Netflix doesn't have like the exceptional movies we can't make here. We have the quality. But there are several dimensions I would really look into. Actually, not about Netflix alone. One, I think numbers are very paramount. People Netflix is a business at the end of the day. Video on demand these days is about who has the best numbers. I will go there. So they first look at the market and say how good is the film industry there, and I mean the reception. I don't think we have created that culture very well, and that's one of the big reasons. So we need to first, as local filmmakers, create that demand. We show Netflix and any other video on demand platform that yes, we have the numbers. But again, I don't know, someone should answer this for me. It so happens that we usually don't have, should I call them offices? Usually Uganda is the last place where people will say, let's go and have a place there that if anybody needs anything, they can look into, can go to the office, right? Netflix, I think they must be having distributors in Kenya, probably Nigeria and South Africa. So, politics plays everywhere. So if you're Ugandan and you've done your movie and you need to find Netflix, it's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a crazy long journey. You either need to go to Kenya, you need to approach someone in Nigeria or South Africa. And guess what? The person you're trying to seek help from also needs the same space.
Yeah.
So how are they going to be lenient and give you that? It should be either your movie is so good, everyone is talking about it, it's been super amazing, there must be a factor.
The movie should be able to speak for itself, not you to speak for it.
Absolutely. The same issue we've had with probably DSTV. We still had the office in Nairobi and people had to take buses, flights, to go But if you have someone right here, I don't know what we shall do to let these people know, no, we need an office here, we need someone here, that we need aggregators here.
Okay.
And the other worst part of the story, even us Ugandans, we fight against each other. The person who makes it to Netflix, if you call them, they're like, okay, boss, I have this movie, how can I? It's like, that process is terrible, you can't manage, So it's funny, if Ugandans, we could work together and say, how best can we help each other? Yes. I dream of a day, I was talking to some of the filmmakers, that I dream of a day where Prince of the Sun is going to be the writer, Dialo is the director, and probably Morris is the DOP. We have a collaboration of different people who are good in everything, Every Ugandan, I have my script, keep it in the armpits and move on
with that.
They don't release anything until the very last.
That's a sad story, right?
That's Uganda.
And finally, Dialo, Oscars is here. What are the chances of Uganda making it to the Oscars?
What are the chances? The chances are 100 out of 100. because nobody knows when or what. It's like the coming of Jesus. The thing is, you have to try.
Yeah.
You have to try. I believe our chance could be now. It could be any time in the future. But the best thing we had to do was to start.
Yeah.
Which we have done.
Yeah.
When you see movies that have won in the Oscars, they're not really exception according to what we have. But I say whether we don't take it now, it is a platform for you to weigh yourself and know what to do right next time. It is only when you ask the director, Morris, who has submitted the film there, he's not slept for the past 2 months, I think.
Wow.
You guess, you know why? Because just understanding the process of submission is enough for Ugandans to learn so many things. So I believe this was the perfect time. I hope most people next year or the coming years can be able to liaise with Morris and try to learn how hectic the process is. And probably if you plan yourself before when you're doing the pre-planning for the film and your target is the Oscars, you don't have to suffer a lot. It's a learning curve for our selection committee because they're also trying to see how hard these things are. It's a learning curve for the directors, and every filmmaker should try to ask Morris on how has it been, what are you going through. But our win is the submission, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the first win.
Okay.
And if Morris is, if Tembele is nominated, that won't be a win. I think it will be everything for Uganda.
It will be an overachievement.
Absolutely. Because already the win is the selection. Yeah. It's the best thing.
Has Tembele already been selected?
Not sure. I think it's still in the pre-selection process, but we are almost there. But once it's selected, that's the biggest win.
That will be a big win.
Yeah.
All right. We're going for a short break. Yeah? When we come back, I'm going to ask you different questions now, out of business, yeah? And then we see. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Angel Tony Asa, Prince of the Sun, and we've had, wow, what an amazing talk with Dialo. Now let's go back just for a short break so that our sponsors, we pay them their bills. But then when we come back, we're going to ask Dialo a couple of quick fire questions to find out the other side of him. This is Angel Tony Asa, Prince of the Sun, My Star with Asa, Coffee City. Subscribe not to miss all our updates. See you right after the break.
Did you hear what I just said?
And I'm going to ask you this one last time. And if you lie to me, I'll walk away.
He has to be mine.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is My Star with Asa. My name is Angelton Asa, Prince of the Sun, and this is Coffee City, our amazing partner and brewer of this amazing coffee. Welcome back, Dialo.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions, and then we find out the other side of you. So, Dialo, would you date a fan? In case you're at the top of your career and there's this fan who is crashing on you, would you date a fan?
Since the question is would you, yes, I would.
You would?
Yeah, because love has no boundaries.
You didn't compromise your professionalism.
It doesn't care. I'm not saying I'm going to. Yeah.
What is the most weird thing a fan has done for you?
Fortunately, I don't think I have fans. I'm not a celebrity, but what has a fan ever done to me? I think the moment I lost my mother recently is the moment that was really life-changing. I wouldn't call them fans, but people I work with in the film industry coming to be there for me, it was everything.
But it's not weird.
It's weird.
Sure.
It's weird. You know, before you get to such moments, you can't know what people are all about.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes you might have that moment and your own family doesn't turn up, but if someone leaves whatever they have to do, probably small things mean a lot.
They mean a lot.
Yeah.
You're a multi-talented person. But what is that most useless talent you have? It's there. You say, I've not tapped this talent, but it's there.
It's not useless, but I think football. I'm an extremely good
You're a goalkeeper?
No,
or
I
a substitute?
I used to play the middle. Midfield. Probably when you have a retreat one day, people will be shocked and ask themselves, well, I'm not playing football. I mean...
Number 6.
Yeah, 6 and 8 and 10. I was so good there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I can't wait for that time.
It will come.
If we went into your refrigerator, what are the first 3 things we would see?
Fruits, watermelon, bananas, and apple. Fruits, but something out of the fridge. It's not kept in fridge. Is a whiskey. I love Scottish whiskey.
It's always there.
Yeah.
Scottish. Okay, so if you're the president of the Republic of Uganda, and they said, right, Mr. President, sir, order for whatever you want, what's that first meal that would come to your head?
I'm a crazy fan of rice, surprisingly.
Rice?
Yeah. It could basically be rice and could be beans.
Rice and beans.
And probably some vegetable. I love nakati, jovio, that.
The
bitter
nakati.
stuff.
The,
Yes,
the bitter stuff.
I love that, yeah. That would be my meal. First day in the office.
Dialo, cooking or eating out? What do you prefer?
Cooking.
Cooking.
Big fan of
What
cooking.
do you like cooking most?
Everything.
Like what?
I love being adventurous when it comes to cooking. I don't know. I just wake up one night and say, I create things. I'm crazy at creating.
That means you should be a good chef, right?
I am. I cook better than my wife, so you can imagine.
That is subject to debate. It's not.
That's true, yeah.
We shall not accept that until it is debated, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what makes you pissed off instantly?
What makes me pissed off?
As a perfectionist.
I think disrespect from anyone. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
I love everyone to be respected regardless. Yeah. If someone disrespects me, though it comes in different magnitude, but I think disrespect.
Okay.
What pisses me off?
Okay, what makes you happy instantly?
What makes me happy? You know, happiness is something you create by yourself. You can be sad when you choose to. So I create my own happiness. I don't think I wait for things to make me happy.
Okay.
So I'm not always inclined to something to make me happy.
Okay.
I create my happiness. So I don't think my happiness is
It's not driven by anything.
by anything.
Okay.
It's driven by me.
All right.
Yeah.
If you had a chance of a female musician to go out with just for a dinner, who would that be?
Local, international.
Local.
Oh God, oh God.
Apart from Winnie Nwaji.
I wouldn't be. Not any day, not any time.
Yeah.
I used to crush so much on Juliana, but I think I outgrew that. And who now?
You outgrew it or you grew with her?
No, I outgrew the crush. I think. Who would I date?
Nanduja?
Maybe Irene Ntale.
Irene Ntale.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, with that sweet voice, right?
Maybe.
And if you're to get the boys whom you'd go out to play basketball with, or just hang around with, who would that be? A musician, a male musician?
A male musician.
Who we call a real G, whom you just go talk to one-on-one.
Oh God. Who would that be?
Apart from Fikfa Maika.
I'd go with this. This guy used to be in Baboon Forest. Who is that guy?
GNL.
No, not GNL.
One G.
Now the other one.
Oh. Babaluku.
Not Babaluku. Big Trill?
Big Trill.
I think I'll go with Big Trill. Yeah, I would go
Party after party.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
go with that guy, yeah.
And finally, if you write a book about yourself, about your life, about whatever, what would the title be?
The title will be Take Me Home.
Take Me Home.
Yeah.
Did it have a synopsis or a literature review?
Yes, I think it's after you travel the world and you finally get to understand there's no better place like Uganda.
Yeah.
I would always tell you, take me home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Now, look into your camera and give your closing remarks, then we close this amazing show.
It's always hard to give closing remarks, but I want to thank you all for taking your time to listen to us. It's personal views. If you're inspired, I'm really humbled. Thank you for having us, and I would actually encourage you to subscribe and like, share My Star with Esa, the Prince of the Sun, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, please subscribe and share. Let so many people know about this. You have a lot to learn Thank you so much, and I'm glad to be hosted here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is My Star with Asa. My name is Angel Tony Asa, Prince of the Sun, and this is Coffee City that has given us this amazing coffee. I'm sure Dialo has enjoyed it. Allow me to close this show by letting you know that we have this show every Friday at 7 p.m. Please, ladies and gentlemen, remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all our updates. Ciao, adios, I'm done.